What if nothing in your life was random? What if every conversation, every bill, every delay, even the things that frustrate you, were simply mirrors showing what you truly believe inside? Neville Goddard taught that you're not at the mercy of reality. You're the author of it. The world doesn't punish or reward, it reflects. Think about it. How many times have you blamed circumstances for the way you feel, not realizing that the feeling came first? That invisible conviction shaping your reactions, that quiet assumption you rarely question, that's what's writing your story. When you begin to see life this way, something powerful happens. Frustration turns into feedback, and every challenge becomes a message from your own consciousness. In this journey, we're not going to fix reality, we're going to read it. Because once you understand what it's showing you, and learn to assume the new truth, the world has no choice but to follow. Every moment, even the small ones you tend to overlook, is a mirror reflecting what's happening inside you. That uncomfortable conversation, the delay, the coincidence that seems random, none of it is chance. Neville Goddard used to say that your beliefs create reality, even the parts you think you didn't choose. Life is like a living photograph of your consciousness, revealing what you truly assume to be real. Think of it like this. When you stand before a mirror, you don't blame the reflection for your expression. You know it's showing you you. The same applies to your outer world. It's simply the echo of your inner world. That's the essence of yourself pushed out, as Neville Goddard taught. Change the self within, and you'll watch the reflection, your circumstances, rearrange themselves like obedient light. It's easy to call things bad luck, or just the way life is. But have you ever noticed patterns that seem to repeat? A friend always disappointing you, money always coming then disappearing, relationships that start the same way and end the same way. That's not coincidence. That's the law of assumption explained through experience. Your assumptions solidify into facts, one belief at a time. The mind has a funny way of hiding its own fingerprints. It creates reality and then forgets it did so, pretending to be surprised. But Neville revealed the deeper truth. Imagination creates reality. Every belief acts like a filter shaping what you notice, how you interpret it, and what you magnetize toward you. You don't see life as it is, you see it as you are. Think of a time when you felt completely confident. Somehow things flowed easier, didn't they? That's feeling it real, even if you didn't know you were doing it. You entered the state naturally. The cashier smiled, opportunities appeared, people responded differently. The outer world was simply mirroring the vibration of your inner certainty. That invisible signal called belief. When you understand that beliefs create reality, Neville Goddard style, you stop fearing circumstances. Instead of reacting, you start observing. You begin to realize that your outer life is a feedback loop, a mirror helping you notice what you've been assuming, and that realization alone can shift everything. Awareness is the first light that breaks the illusion of randomness. Imagine two people walking in the same rain. One curses the weather, another feels grateful for the cool breeze. The same event, but two different worlds. Reality isn't objective, it's interpretive. Neville Goddard's teachings invite you to stop blaming the weather and start observing the lens through which you're seeing it. That's where transformation truly begins. The world doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your inner conviction. You can say, "I'm abundant," but if inside you still assume scarcity, the mirror will reflect lack. The law of assumption isn't about pretending, it's about being. Living in the end, as Neville called it, means feeling the reality of your desire now before the mirror shows it back to you. It can be uncomfortable at first, realizing that every irritation, delay, or rejection is a reflection of something believed deep within. But that's also the doorway to freedom. Because if it's you, then it's changeable. The mirror is never the problem, it's just the messenger. Change the inner assumption, and the image must obey. So the next time life shows you something you don't like, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what part of me believes this is how it must be? That question is where power begins. Not control, but awareness. And awareness leads us naturally into the next truth Neville revealed. One of Neville Goddard's most radical ideas is that the outer world isn't separate from you. It's yourself pushed out. That phrase alone changes everything once it sinks in. It means that every person, every conversation, every event you meet out there began as something within you. Life doesn't happen to you, it unfolds through you, like a mirror image of your state of being. Think of your state as the mood of your soul. When you live in the state of fear, you see reasons to be afraid everywhere. When you live in the state of faith, doors seem to open as if by magic. That's not coincidence, it's the natural rhythm of consciousness. Neville often said that we can only encounter what we are conscious of being. The world is simply your inner weather projected outward. Most people are taught to see circumstances as random tests, divine rewards or punishments. But Neville broke that illusion. Circumstances aren't moral judgments, they're mirrors of state. They reveal what you've accepted as true about yourself. The law of assumption explained is nothing mystical. It's the mechanics of belief creating form. It's consciousness wearing a costume called reality. Imagine a theater actor who forgets they're in a play. They start arguing with the scenery, begging the props to change. That's how most of us treat life. We fight the script instead of remembering we wrote it. To shift the scene, the actor doesn't fight the stage. They step into a new role. That's how manifestation works. Change the inner identity, and the outer story must follow. This is where feeling is the secret. It's not about reciting affirmations or forcing positivity. It's about embodying a new inner temperature. When you feel it real, you're no longer wishing, you're being. That feeling of already having it is the emotional signature of the new state. The world then reflects it faithfully, because that's what it always does. Picture two people entering a room. One radiates quiet confidence, the other carries invisible anxiety. The reactions they receive will differ completely, not because the room changed, but because they did. That's yourself, pushed out. Neville Goddard made visible. Everyone and everything is responding to the vibration you hold, not the words you speak. The beautiful irony is that life is never trying to hurt you. Even your hardest moments are revealing your current assumptions. They're not punishments, they're opportunities to see your own reflection more clearly. Reality is saying, this is what you believe right now. Would you like to keep believing it? That gentle awareness is the birthplace of transformation. Neville used to say that imagining creates reality. Not sometimes, always. When you accept this, blame dissolves. You realize that even negative experiences carry hidden messages from your own imagination. Instead of condemning the outer picture, you begin decoding it. What does this situation reveal about what I've assumed? What part of me asked for this lesson? When you start observing life through this lens, frustration gives way to curiosity. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start wondering, what is this showing me about my current state? That question alone can dissolve years of self-blame. The mirror isn't cruel, it's precise. It only shows you what you're ready to see. And once you begin to understand that life's reflections are never punishments but invitations, something shifts. You stop fearing appearances and start listening to them. Because the next secret Neville reveals is this: the moment you resist the mirror, you strengthen what you don't want. It's almost instinctive, isn't it? The moment something goes wrong, we want to fight it, fix it, or escape it. But here's the paradox Neville Goddard pointed out. The harder you fight an appearance, the more real it becomes. The mirror doesn't change because you shout at it. The reflection only shifts when you relax into understanding, when you stop reacting and start seeing. Imagine a man standing before a mirror, angry at his own reflection for frowning. He yells, "Smile!" But nothing happens. It sounds absurd, yet that's exactly what most people do in life. They battle circumstances as if they were independent of them. Neville called this the fundamental misunderstanding of reality. The world isn't an enemy. It's evidence. It's feedback from your inner state. Think of resistance as invisible glue. The more you struggle against what you dislike, the more tightly it sticks to you. When you say, "I don't want this," your attention feeds the very image you're trying to erase. It's like watering weeds while complaining they're growing. That's why Neville taught that awareness, not resistance, dissolves illusions. You can't outfight a shadow. You can only turn on the light. A woman once told me she kept attracting unavailable partners. Every time it happened, she promised herself she'd never fall for that pattern again, but her focus remained on the fear of repeating it. The mirror obliged. Only when she stopped resisting, when she saw the pattern as feedback showing her belief about love, did the image change. She finally met someone emotionally present. The mirror obeyed her new assumption. That's the beauty of the law of assumption explained in practice. You don't conquer the world, you reinterpret it. You stop asking, "How do I fix this?" and start wondering, "What does this reflect about my assumption of self?" That question turns pain into revelation. It's what Neville meant when he said, "There is no one to change but self." The world bends to awareness. Resistance keeps you in the old state. Acceptance frees you to enter a new one. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of the situation. It means you stop fighting the feedback. You acknowledge that what you see is yourself pushed out Neville Goddard style. And in that quiet recognition, power returns. You realize the reflection isn't permanent. It's a snapshot of a passing belief. Think of your mind as a projector. If the movie on the screen bothers you, do you attack the screen? Of course not. You change the film inside the projector. Fighting appearances is like punching the screen, hoping the scene will change. It never works. The scene only transforms when the real, your inner assumption, does. That's how beliefs create reality, Neville Goddard style, without struggle. Neville often said, "Be still and know that you are God." That stillness isn't passivity, it's mastery. When you stop reacting to appearances, you step out of the hypnotic trance of fear. You remember that imagination creates reality, not reaction. And from that stillness, a new picture begins forming effortlessly, almost as if the world breathes differently around you. So when something upsets you today, try this. Pause. Instead of fighting the image, thank it for showing you what's active in your consciousness. That single act shifts your vibration from victimhood to authorship. The reflection loses its power because you've remembered the source, you. Feeling it real Neville style isn't about ignoring reality, it's about reclaiming your authorship over it. As you master this, you'll notice something subtle. Life becomes less about control and more about coherence. You won't waste energy resisting mirrors, you'll read them like maps. And that understanding naturally prepares you for the next revelation Neville shared. How many times have you looked at your circumstances and thought, "Why is this happening to me?" Neville Goddard would gently smile and say, "It's not to you, it's through you." Reality is never an enemy. It's a teacher. It only reflects what you've been assuming beneath the surface. When you stop seeing life as opposition and start seeing it as revelation, everything softens. The world doesn't wake up plotting against you. It simply obeys the command of your deepest beliefs. That's the quiet genius behind the law of assumption explained. You assume something long enough, consciously or not, and the universe arranges itself accordingly. Reality has no opinion. It's neutral, faithful, and honest. It mirrors your inner conviction with precision. Frustration, though, is what keeps most people stuck. They notice the reflection and feel betrayed by it. They pray, complain, and strive, but their emotional signal stays the same. Neville taught that awareness alone dissolves the illusion of resistance. When you see what's really happening, that life is just showing you your assumption in 3D, frustration turns into clarity. Imagine your consciousness as a GPS. If you're headed somewhere you don't like, getting angry at the map won't help. You simply change the destination. That's awareness. It's practical spirituality. It's you saying, "I see what I've been assuming, now I choose differently." Reality's not fighting you. It's following instructions you didn't realize you gave. Take a simple example. Someone who believes money is hard to earn. Their world faithfully delivers evidence of that belief. Bills pile up, opportunities vanish, work feels heavy. When they start experimenting with new assumptions, money flows easily to me. They might first see small shifts, a gift, a refund, an idea. The mirror begins to flicker, adjusting to the new inner film. That's beliefs create reality, Neville Goddard in motion. Awareness doesn't mean denial. It means observation without panic. When you stop judging what you see and start learning from it, you reclaim your creative authority. Neville called this living in the end and thinking and feeling from the result you want, not the one you fear. The more you practice that emotional stance, the more natural it becomes. Think of it like sunlight shining through colored glass. The light itself is pure, but the glass, your belief, colors it. If the color bothers you, there's no need to fight the light. You simply choose a different filter. That's all reality ever does. It shows you the color of your current belief. Awareness changes the glass. Frustration just keeps it in place. Neville's brilliance was showing that imagination creates reality not by force, but by reflection. When you observe calmly, you start seeing the divine symmetry in everything, even delays, even detours. Each event whispers, "This is what you currently believe about yourself." And once you recognize that message, the scene no longer controls you. You become the conscious director again. This shift from frustration to awareness feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. Suddenly, life doesn't need fixing. It just needs understanding. You realize there's nothing out there to defeat. Everything you meet is a mirror volunteering to show you your current assumption of self. It's not against you. It's for your awakening. And once that awareness settles in, you begin to play with it. You start testing it in daily moments and in traffic, in relationships, in silence. Every reflection becomes a clue. And from that space of observation, Neville invites us into something deeper still. What to do when an unwanted reflection appears in your mirror. This is where Neville Goddard's teachings become not theory, but practice. When something unwanted appears, most people react immediately. They complain, resist, or panic. But the true student pauses. Instead of asking, "Why me?" they ask, "What belief is this reflecting?" That single question opens the door to transformation. The moment you ask it, you step out of victimhood and into authorship. Let's say you receive unexpected bad news, a bill, a rejection, a conflict. The reflex is to worry, but the moment you pause, you interrupt the loop. You remember, reality is a mirror, not a judge. You might discover that beneath your calm exterior, there's an assumption whispering, "Things never work out for me." By noticing it, you've already started changing it. Awareness cracks the spell. Now here comes the practical part. Neville taught the art of revision and feeling it real Neville style. Once you notice the belief, close your eyes and imagine the scene as you prefer it to be. Not as a wish, but as a living memory. Feel the relief, the joy, the satisfaction, as though it already happened. That emotional shift is the seed of a new reality taking root. For instance, if someone disappoints you, don't dwell on the hurt. See the scene again in your mind. This time they speak kindly, or the situation ends peacefully. Feel that warmth in your chest. That's the moment the mirror begins to bend. The subconscious doesn't know imagination from reality. It simply accepts what's felt as truth and projects it outward accordingly. One man used this exact practice for his finances. Every time he saw his empty bank account, he would close his eyes and imagine seeing abundance, the numbers he wanted to see. He didn't force it, he felt it real. Within weeks, unexpected income began arriving. Nothing mystical, just the law of assumption explained in action. Feeling changes assumption, assumption changes reality. The key is emotional honesty. You can't trick yourself with empty affirmations. If you feel desperate while saying, "I'm rich," you're still planting the emotion of lack. Instead, soften. Imagine something that feels possible right now. Maybe a small win, a tiny relief. That little shift in vibration is like tuning the radio dial. Once you catch the frequency, the song of your desire plays louder. Remember, beliefs create reality, Neville Goddard style. Not your words, not your logic, but your inner conviction. So when life mirrors something unpleasant, it's not a failure, it's feedback. That's your cue to enter the new state. The question, "What belief is this reflecting?" turns discomfort into guidance. It's like being given the cheat sheet to your own subconscious. The magic isn't in forcing feelings, it's in allowing them to move. When you visualize the preferred scene, breathe deeply. Let your body relax into it. Feel the naturalness of, "It's already done." Neville called that living in the end. The moment it feels real, even for a few seconds, you've shifted the seed. The harvest will follow, inevitably. At first, this practice may feel strange. You might wonder, can it really be that simple? But simplicity is divine intelligence disguised. The mirror doesn't respond to effort, it responds to clarity. Keep asking, keep imagining, and soon this process becomes instinctive, like a spiritual muscle that remembers how to lift you higher. As you begin to master this practice, you'll notice your reactions changing. You'll catch yourself smiling at moments that once triggered you. You'll feel empowered where you used to feel helpless. And that subtle shift, from reaction to creation, is the bridge to our next exploration, how feeling itself becomes the architect of belief. Neville Goddard said it plainly, feeling is the secret, not because emotion is magic dust, but because it's the language your subconscious understands. Thoughts are the surface ripples, but feelings are the current underneath. You can think, "I'm free" all day long, but if deep down you feel trapped, that emotional charge will win every time. It's feeling, not words, that imprints reality. Think of belief as a seed and emotion as the soil. A thought alone is like throwing a seed on the sidewalk. Nothing grows. But when you mix it with emotion, the soil opens. That's when the subconscious says, "Yes, this is true." That's why Neville taught that imagination creates reality through feeling. When you feel something real enough, your mind doesn't question it. It manifests it. Most people try to think their way out of pain. They repeat mantras, chase logic, distract themselves. But thoughts without emotional alignment are hollow. Have you ever tried to convince yourself you're fine when you weren't? The body always knows. Emotion is the signal that tells the truth. When you shift that signal, when you feel it real, your entire vibration reorganizes. Here's a simple exercise. The next time you're anxious about something, don't fight the thought. Instead, sit still and locate the feeling beneath it. Maybe it's fear of loss, rejection, or unworthiness. Don't judge it, just notice it. Now ask, what would peace feel like right now? Don't think peace, feel it in your body. That new emotion begins rewriting the old belief instantly. Neville used to say, you must make your future dream a present fact by feeling it real now. The reason is simple. The subconscious doesn't live in time. It only knows what is felt now. When you live in the end, as he taught, you plant belief through emotion, not effort. That's the essence of the law of assumption explained. Feel the wish fulfilled, and it hardens into fact. Imagine someone who grew up believing they're not good enough. That belief became the lens for everything. They'd sabotage opportunities, attract criticism, or stay invisible, all reflections of that root feeling. Changing it doesn't start with thinking, I'm confident. It starts with feeling what confidence feels like. Shoulders relaxed, breath deep, chest open. The body rehearses the new belief before the mind catches up. That's why beliefs create reality, Neville Goddard style, without forcing. The outer world mirrors the emotional temperature you hold most often. Change the feeling, and the thought loses its authority. Suddenly, the phrase, I am worthy, isn't a sentence. It's a frequency. And the mirror, ever faithful, begins to reflect that frequency everywhere you go. Feeling is also memory in disguise. When you recreate an emotion, even without external reason, you awaken the state that matches it. So if you want love, feel cherished now. If you want success, feel capable now. You're not lying to yourself. You're activating a parallel truth. The subconscious doesn't argue with feelings, it obeys them. Some people ask, but what if I don't believe it yet? That's okay. You're not aiming for belief. You're training emotional familiarity. Pretend for a moment that the new feeling is natural. Let it wash through you like music. That gentle repetition softens old patterns until belief forms naturally. Neville would call this practicing the presence of your assumption. Once you grasp that emotion is the gateway, not logic, you begin to move effortlessly through states. You don't have to fix every thought, you just nurture new feelings. And as those feelings deepen, they begin to sculpt the reflection of your world, which leads beautifully to the next revelation. Stop trying to fix the mirror. Shift the reflection by stepping into a new state entirely. The impulse to fix things is strong. We see something we don't like and immediately rush to correct it. But Neville Goddard taught that the mirror of reality can't be fixed directly. Only the self that's being reflected can. The world isn't broken, it's faithful. To change the reflection, you must shift the state you're living from. Trying to fix the mirror is like wiping the glass instead of changing your expression. Picture someone staring into a mirror saying, I'll be happy once that reflection smiles back at me. It sounds silly, but that's how most people live. They wait for the outer world to change before they allow themselves to feel different. Neville turned that logic upside down. He said, feel first, and the mirror will follow. It's not cause and effect, it's cause revealed. States of consciousness are like radio frequencies. You can't tune into peace while broadcasting worry. You must change the station, and the dial isn't outside you, it's your imagination. When Neville spoke of living in the end, he meant stepping into the emotional frequency of the outcome you desire right now. No begging, no forcing, just being. Let's say someone wants to manifest a loving relationship. They think they need to fix loneliness first. But loneliness isn't something to fix. It's a state to leave. You don't fight darkness, you turn on the light. So instead of trying to heal loneliness, imagine the warmth of love as if it were already yours. Feel the presence of companionship. That new state reshapes the mirror effortlessly. The beauty of the law of assumption explained lies in this simplicity. You don't need years of struggle to change a state, only a moment of conviction. Neville said, the moment you feel the desire fulfilled, you are that which you have assumed. Once you wear the state like a second skin, the world around you rearranges itself to match that inner outfit. Have you noticed how when you wake up in a bad mood, everything seems to go wrong? It's not superstition, it's the consistency of consciousness. You're projecting from a state of irritation, so life mirrors it back. Shift your state, and the sequence of events shifts too. The outer world is obedient, The inner world is command central. Neville often told his students not to fight shadows. The shadow only moves when you move the light source. In the same way, trying to fix appearances keeps you trapped in reaction, but stepping into a new state, calmly, confidently, makes the old image irrelevant. The moment you become the version of yourself who already has what they want, the old reality loses its power. Here's a practice you can try. The next time something frustrates you, close your eyes and ask, how would I feel if this were already resolved? Then, linger in that emotion, even for 30 seconds. Let it feel normal. That's how feeling it real Neville style works. You bring tomorrow's reality into today's vibration. You don't chase it, you embody it. This isn't denial, it's direction. You're not ignoring what is, you're choosing what to assume next. And because imagination creates reality, the mirror must adjust. You'll notice people treating you differently, opportunities aligning, even timing improving. The change won't feel dramatic, it'll feel natural, because the state you entered was already yours all along. The moment you stop rushing to fix what's outside and instead rest in the truth of who you already are, peace enters quietly. You start realizing how little effort creation actually requires. And as this new state stabilizes, subtle signs begin to appear, proof that your beliefs are shifting beneath the surface, preparing you for what comes next. One of the first clues that your inner world is shifting isn't that everything suddenly looks different. It's that you do. Neville Goddard would say that when you change state, you don't have to announce it. The evidence shows up quietly in your behavior. You stop taking things so personally. You react less, observe more. That's how the mirror confirms the new belief has taken root. It's subtle but powerful. Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic and, instead of exploding, you breathe and keep driving. Or a bill arrives and you no longer spiral into fear, you just trust it'll be handled. These tiny shifts are proof that your emotional temperature is rising. The law of assumption explained works precisely this way. Your reactions reveal the state you're occupying. When beliefs create reality Neville Goddard style, the outer evidence often lags behind the inner change. At first, nothing seems different, but you feel different. That peace you can't quite explain. That's transformation in motion. It's like spring arriving before the flowers bloom. The warmth comes first. The blossoms follow. Neville called this inner shift the bridge of incidents. As your assumptions change, life rearranges itself through ordinary events. You might run into someone who gives you a new perspective, stumble upon an idea, or feel drawn to try something you never considered before. Each step feels guided but natural, a reflection of your evolving consciousness. Another sign your beliefs are changing is emotional neutrality toward what used to trigger you. The old story still might appear, but it no longer hooks you. That's when you know feeling it real Neville style is working. You've moved from reacting to remembering that you're the cause, not the effect. The mirror loses its power to scare you. Life also starts feeling lighter, not because circumstances are perfect, but because your relationship with them is. You stop demanding constant proof. You begin trusting your inner knowing. Neville said that faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. When you sense that quiet confidence inside, even without visible evidence, you're living the law, not just studying it. People around you might notice before you do. They'll say, "You seem calmer," or "Something about you feels different." That's your new state radiating outward. Remember, your self-pushed out Neville Goddard style means others respond to your self-concept. When your self-concept changes, their behavior automatically adjusts. You don't have to persuade anyone. Your vibration speaks first. You'll also start catching old thoughts mid-air. The moment a fearful pattern begins, you'll recognize it like an outdated song. Instead of joining in, you'll change the tune. That's self-awareness in action. The subconscious is being re-educated through repetition and feeling, and soon the old beliefs fade from habit to history. It's a beautiful paradox. As your beliefs change, life doesn't necessarily become easier, but it becomes clearer. You start seeing meaning where there used to be confusion. You realize challenges aren't punishments, they're reminders of your creative power. Reality becomes a friend again, one that's always whispering, "You're growing." And once you start living from that lighter, softer space, something deeper awakens. You begin to see life not as something to fix or fear, but as a mirror, one that's always teaching, always reflecting, always responding to your state. And that awareness leads us naturally into the next evolution of Neville's teaching, the art of deep embodiment, where you stop blaming the world entirely and begin to see it as your own creation. There comes a moment in this journey when theory turns into embodiment. You stop quoting Neville Goddard and start living him. It's when the concept imagination creates reality stops being an idea and becomes your lens. You no longer blame the world for its reflections. You start observing them with curiosity. The canvas isn't against you, it's following your brush strokes exactly. Blame used to feel natural. When things went wrong, it was easier to point outward, to the boss, the market, the government, even fate. But deep embodiment is realizing that these are only roles in your internal play. They are yourself pushed out Neville Goddard style, characters shaped by your own assumptions. When you shift your perception, their dialogue shifts too. Imagine an artist painting a scene, then arguing with the canvas because the sky looks too gray. Absurd, right? Yet that's how most of us treat life. We condemn the painting while holding the same brush. Embodiment means picking up that brush consciously again. It's saying, if this scene reflects my inner world, then I can choose new colors now. One of Neville's most profound lessons is that responsibility isn't burden, it's power. When you truly grasp that your beliefs create reality, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of chance. You understand that every line on the canvas, even the messy ones, came from your previous strokes. And that's liberating, because it means you can always start a new masterpiece. Embodiment feels different from learning. It's quieter. You don't need to prove the law of assumption explained to anyone. You simply live it. People might wonder how things always work out for you. You won't rush to explain. You'll just smile, knowing that peace isn't luck. It's alignment. That's when you realize the mirror has become your ally. Blame dissolves because it becomes unnecessary. You see how every conflict or delay is the world faithfully echoing your current vibration. If someone criticizes you, you pause and ask, what within me invited this? Not from guilt, but from curiosity. That question transforms life into dialogue. The universe is always speaking. Embodiment is simply learning to listen. When you reach this depth, your imagination becomes sacred ground. You stop daydreaming for escape and start imagining for creation. Feeling it real Neville style becomes second nature, like breathing. You live in the end so consistently that reality can't help but catch up, and when it does, it feels inevitable, not miraculous. Deep embodiment also brings a kind of humility. You realize everyone is doing the same thing, creating from their own states, consciously or not. So judgment fades, compassion replaces superiority. You begin to see each person as another brush painting their world, sometimes with trembling hands, sometimes with mastery. And that recognition connects you to them in love, not blame. The canvas of life stops feeling heavy. Even when storms come, you understand they're just temporary brushstrokes revealing contrast. The power lies in your response, not panic, but creative direction. The moment you return to inner alignment, the outer picture shifts accordingly. The mirror has no choice but to reflect your peace. This is the level where manifestation becomes effortless because separation dissolves. You no longer see yourself in the world, you see the world as yourself. And with that union, creation becomes art. Which brings us to the final revelation in Neville's sequence, the recognition that reality at every moment is showing you your current beliefs, waiting for you to claim the new truth. The moment you understand that reality is always reflecting your current beliefs, life stops feeling random. Neville Goddard would say, "The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you're doing within yourself. Everything you experience, the delays, the blessings, the surprises, is a message from your own consciousness. It's not a test to pass, but a reflection to read." Most people keep trying to fix the image instead of decoding it. They miss the invitation hidden inside the experience. Reality isn't scolding you, it's speaking your language. When something feels off, it's just your inner world saying, "Hey, look here, this belief no longer serves you." Once you see it that way, resistance turns into curiosity. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What's this showing me?" Acceptance doesn't mean surrendering to what you don't like. It means seeing it without panic. That's where transformation begins. When you accept the message, you regain authorship. You stop reacting to the movie and start rewriting the script. The outer world is obedient to the inner assumption. And the moment you assume a new truth, reality begins reorganizing itself to match. It's like changing the lens of a camera. The scene outside doesn't change, but your perception does. And suddenly, the entire picture looks different. Neville's law of assumption explained this perfectly. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the world must conform. It's law, not luck. The mirror is exact. It can only show you who you believe you are. Suppose you've been assuming that life is a constant struggle. Your world will echo that belief faithfully. Hard work, exhaustion, resistance. But when you begin to assume, life supports me effortlessly, you'll start noticing coincidences that prove it true. People offering help, doors opening smoothly, peace where tension used to live. That's beliefs create reality, Neville Goddard in real time. You don't need to analyze every detail of how it happens. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that connects imagination to manifestation. Your only task is to feel it real Neville style, to dwell in the conviction that it's already done. Once your inner faith stabilizes, the outer world has no option but to reflect it. That's how you live in the end. And here's the paradox Neville loved. The moment you truly assume the new state, you stop looking for signs. You no longer need proof because you know. That quiet certainty is creative gold. It's what turns assumption into reality. You realize that faith isn't effort, it's rest. You're resting in the truth of your inner vision while the mirror catches up. Some people fear that this level of creation is too much responsibility, but responsibility simply means responsibility, the ability to respond consciously. Reality isn't heavy when you understand it. It's playful. You can change it as easily as changing a story mid-sentence. The universe isn't rigid, it's conversational. It listens to your assumptions and answers accordingly. As you practice this awareness daily, the delays between inner and outer shorten. You'll think of someone and they'll call. You'll imagine peace and the atmosphere around you will calm. You'll see how deeply interconnected imagination and matter truly are. Every reflection becomes confirmation that the law is always at work, simple, faithful, and exact. Eventually, you'll stop seeing manifestation as a technique and start seeing it as a way of being. Reality is always showing you your current beliefs, no exceptions, no accidents. Accept the message, assume the new truth, and watch the world, like a loyal mirror, rewrite itself line by line, image by image, to match your inner faith that imagination creates reality. Samuel says, what is your world showing you right now? Every person, every moment, every result is whispering something about what you believe to be true. Maybe it's time to stop reacting to the reflection and start listening to it. Because once you see life as a mirror, you'll never feel powerless again. The invitation is simple. Don't fight appearances, read them. When something feels off, pause and ask, what belief is this mirroring? Then close your eyes. Imagine the version of you who already lives in peace, abundance, and freedom. Feel it real, right now. That's how reality rewrites itself. Not through effort, but through awareness. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay close. Each new video will take you deeper into the art of conscious creation, where imagination, emotion, and faith work together to transform your entire world from the inside out.